So, we had some recording issues. That means this episode is going to be a little bit quieter than our usual episodes. We're really sorry, guys. We're going to get it sorted for the next recording. Otherwise, enjoy. Turn your volume up. Welcome to the Serite, a Bleach fandom community podcast brought to you by Edible Flowers, a convenient and tasty way to finish off your opponents. Also not taxed as a luxury item, despite that literally being what they are. Anyway, my name is Lethan, and today I'm joined by Nomi.
Hello!
And we're going to assume Nomi says hello.
Hello!
Yeah.
Hello!
I don't know why it hates you saying hi.
It really does. Hi, bye, yes, no. But yeah, I took those edible flowers and finishing someone off very wrongly.
No, mate. It was entirely innocent until you put that thought in my head, and now I'm like, oh no, what did I just say?
What did you just say? I'm
This is
usually
why-
the innocent one.
This is why we rate all our episodes as explicit, just in case one of us messes up. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, all good.
Oh, good. These were some episodes.
These were some episodes.
I mean,
Let's put it mildly.
we had some good things. We had
Yes.
some people being idiots.
Yes, I feel like we have a little bit more to talk about with these episodes than we did the last time, personally.
Exactly, yeah. They've all kind of had, of the 4 fights that we've had, everyone's had their own moment to shine. Bar Ikaku.
Well, let's get right into that then. Will we start off with those sweet, sweet episode summaries?
Yes, we shall.
Let's go.
So, starting off with episode 218, Kero, the Battle with Despair, Yumichika explains his win to Charlotte that being from the 11th squad, the true nature of his Zanpakuto would be frowned upon, considering as it's Kido-based. So, instead, he calls his Zanpakuto by another name in order to stop it from revealing itself. Had Charlotte not hidden them both from sight, then Yumichika would have lost, his honor for his division higher than his desire to win. Honestly, between him and Akaku not showing his Bankai, the 11th is just a disaster zone. Across the town at Pillar Number 2, the battle between Link and Rivali of the Rito has started. Wait, no, I'm getting my fandoms mixed up. Okay, so Kira and Avirama, who was a birdman, so you can understand my confusion, who has already gone Resurrection, is ongoing with a display of Kido from Kira, who then releases his own Zanpakuto, using Wabisuke to make Avirama's wings heavy enough that he can no longer fly, giving Kira the chance to finish off the fight. Before he deals the final blow, he explains that the 3rd Division's insignia of a marigold stands for despair, in which he believes his own Wabisuke is the best that exemplifies his company's philosophy, as it increases the weight of what is cut and causes the person to bow their head as if asking for forgiveness and being in despair. Which brings us into episode 219, Hisagi Shikai. The name is... With 2 down and 2 to go, this episode is dedicated to Hisagi's fight against Mr. Exacta, as I'm predicting Lethan will refer to him as he says that a lot. Especially when Hisagi points out that Findor, that's his real name by the way, despite what Lethan will have you believe,
You know me so well.
is only fighting at the level of a 5th seat, despite previously saying he'd fight at a lieutenant level. After slashing his mask a few times, Findor finally achieves lieutenant level and the fight resumes. Poor Hisagi isn't having a very good time of it though, well, depends on your source material, and Findor soon releases his resurrection and continues, I'm trying to work out what that spelling mistake was, sorry, finally releases his resurrection and continues to have the upper claw, encasing Hisagi in water, which forces Hisagi, much to the delight of the onlooking captains, to bring out his Shikai. He states that he doesn't like it much. Honestly, the self-confidence and morale in these boys not liking their own inner souls. Anyway, with Hisagi now fighting with his Shikai, he gains the upper scythe and the battle is swiftly over. As the 3rd Faccione falls, someone else falls at the 4th pillar. But it's not an Espada. It's a Kaku.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. That brings us into episode 220, Ikaku Falls, the Shinigami's Crisis. I mean, this episode could literally just be boiled down to Ikaku gets his ass kicked because he doesn't want to use his Bankai, and big dad bod wolf captain comes in and saves him. No? No, not good enough for... No? Okay, right, fine. I'll do a proper episode recap. This episode starts with the collapse of the pillar. Realising that Ikaku is down, Yumichika tries to rush to his boyfriend's aid, only to be stopped by Shuuhei and Izuru. As real Karakura Town starts to reappear, Tetsuzaimon and Kamamura appear to save Ikaku and stop the regression of the Kido used to disguise the town. Pow, that's his name, or Mr. Whaleman, releases his Resurrection, which literally just turns him into a giant whale, and starts to charge a Zero, as Captain Kamamura... As Captain Komamura calls forth his Bankai to stand on equal footing and height footing with what is essentially just the whale Arankar person. It's a whale. I can't get over this. I won't let it go. It's whale versus dog in this fight, and Komamura makes a quick work of the Frazione, ending the battle rather rapidly. All to the disdain of Baragan. Oh, and it seems like every cunt and their uncle knows about Ikaku's Bankai now, so there's that. He should have just probably used it. And this would have went faster.
Yep. Oh, honestly, these boys not playing with their toys.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm excited to see what some of your notes are, because you said you've got a wee bit more for these episodes. I've got a tiny little bit more. So do you want to give us the anime and manga differences?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so episode 218, we've got 2 manga chapters. 322, Oath Under the Rose. And then we start volume 838 with 323, Gloomy, Ghastly, and Full of Despair. And that's not the Pokemon. Just wanted to point that out. So the anime included a whole part of Ikaku fighting, which was anime only. Ikaku doesn't get seen until he falls. And then there's a second part to the Kira fight. So once Kira releases his Wabisuke and then kind of mansplains everything and why Avirama has fallen, that ends the fight. Whereas in the anime, Avirama starts to get up and goes for a round 2 before being killed.
Oh, yeah, I remember that bit.
Avirama kind of, in the manga, Avirama kind of gives up and starts running away. And, no, I'm confusing him with Fintor. Never mind, that's something. but all of these fights have been extremely doctored, so I'm just getting all my doctoring confused. But yeah, no, Avirama had a part 2 in which he tries to fight back, but in the manga, it's just literally when he falls, he's dead. There's no coming back. So yeah. We had a lot of mansplaining in this episode, at least. We had the reason why Yumichika was happy that Charlotte had hidden him from sight, and the whole kind of delving into the 11th Division looking badly on Kido-based Zanpakuto, and so the fact that Yumichika would rather die than reveal his Zanpakuto to someone is a bit extreme, especially for someone who... in a squad that likes to fight. So the fact that he is willing to die before revealing his Zanpakuto because his Zanpakuto is Kido based, whereas one of their values is to win a fight, or at least fight. So yeah, his reasoning was confusing, and I don't know. What do you think? Would you, if you had a Kido Zanpakuto and you were in the 11th, would you hide it and willingly die? Or would you own up to it and go, hey, at least I'm winning my fights?
I don't know, because I feel like a lot of this boils down to that pride thing again, isn't it? Because even Ikaku not bringing out his Bankai could become down to that too. It's the things that people are willing to do to pertain to a particular squad. I don't think Kenpachi would care all that much. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't think he would give a shit.
Kenpachi probably already knows. If everybody and their mother
yeah.
knows about Ikaku, then everyone probably already knows about Yumichika. They're not exactly very sly.
No. So I'm just like, I think it suits Yumichika's fighting style, like, and I think people probably know that about him. So if it were me, I don't know, it's hard to say what I would do in that situation, but I wouldn't fear the rejection of Kenpachi and Yachiru, because I genuinely don't think they would give a shit as long as you were strong and you were winning your battles.
No,
You know what I
in
mean?
fact, Kenpachi would probably love it because it means he can keep fighting.
Yeah.
Because it's effectively healing him so he can continue fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenpachi's got so much spiritual pressure anyway that he'd probably just recharge himself in like 2 seconds and then go again. So he'd be like always be regenerated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't know. I would just own it. Like, there's no point in trying to keep part of your soul hidden like that. Like, you're going to have to come out the closet eventually, Yumichika.
Especially with how he screamed Ikaku's name when Ikaku fell. I mean, come on.
Could you be any less subtle? I will say though, like, I love that, like, Charlotte, even as Charlotte's dying, is asking all these beautiful questions and giving him like the chance to as you say, mansplain the points. I've got a wee note there saying it would have been really funny if Charlotte had shouted out about Ikaku's bankai. Yumichika was like, yeah, it's a secret, blah blah blah, and Charlotte, just before he dies, turns around and went, hey guys, by the way. It would have been very funny. But like, yeah, this is to me where Bleach falls short. See, if you have to keep telling us things, it's a program, we're not reading a book. You know what I mean? Like, and this is why, like, these episodes for me are just such a letdown compared to what we've just experienced, which was the past arc, the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, which was all show, not tell, and now we've got the flip side of that, which is all tell and not show.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of this could have been done a wee bit more creatively. Like, we could have seen, like, the 11th aversion to Kido, like, maybe a little bit more in how they treated Squad 4, you know what I mean? Like, we could have had that built up and established, and then for Yumichika to be like, yeah, this is a Kido-paced Sanpakuto, we could have made the connections there without it having to be explained to us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if we had that little bit of history. We already know they have history with Force, so maybe adding that in sometime there, so when he comes and reveals his Kido Zanpakuto, the audience could be like, oh my gosh, he's an 11th and he has a Kido.
It could have been like a proper like reveal, like a proper oh.
Yeah.
That's good storytelling though. This is lazy. This just talk at you, explain everything is just lazy.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because obviously we've seen Kubo do better. So.
Yeah. We've got the second person to mansplain is Kira.
Yeah.
And we already knew Kira's Shikai because he's used it against Rangiku. The kind of information with regards to the third was pretty cool, with the fact that they have an insignia. The insignia is a marigold, and the marigold signifies despair, and that kind of brings it into his Shikai, which I think is really cool.
That is cool.
But then you look on the flip side.
We could have had that without having that explained to us, though. We could have had it shown with visuals on screen, like the marigold appearing and like cool sequencing and flashbacks and cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think that there are better ways to tell a story than just talk. It feels like I'm watching an audiobook. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'd agree with that. There was better ways that they can. We keep calling it mansplain, but
Maybe we should stop calling it because they're not explaining it. They're explaining it to other guys. So
exactly.
Really,
They're just kind of basically justifying their actions. You don't need to justify your actions, you just killed the dude.
Yeah.
You're just basically now giving somebody else the opportunity to come back and use what they listened in on to hurt you.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. But when you think of the third division, and now we know what the third division signifies, of the two captains that we know of who are in the third, of Rose and Gin, are they very third-like to you?
Gin, yeah.
Yeah?
I would say so, yeah.
And we don't know Rose enough, probably.
Yeah, I don't know Rose enough at all. He's
Nah.
been given hardly any screen time, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, despair for me. I don't know, with Geen, like...
I don't know, yeah.
It feels like the kind of person that would feed on despair, you know what I mean? So that, I guess, is maybe where my brain is making that connection.
Possibly, yeah.
And he likes causing it too. Remember when he purposefully tweaked, like, who would end up fighting who, so Rukia would fight, effectively, Cayenne? You know what I mean? Like, in that... So, he does like it. And then, when he went and he teased her as well, like, giving her false hope that maybe she could be saved.
He also does strike me as the type of person who would do anything to make to get his way, and that's kind of despairish as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I also feel like had Yumichika not decided to join the 11th because of Yumichika and Kenpachi, he would have been good in the 3rd.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
That whole aesthetic of his Zanpakuto, and especially when Charlotte's on the floor, kind of tied up by the tentacles. I'm realizing how that sounded.
I see where you're going with that.
Yes. That was quite despairish as well, because he was on his knees in despair. So, yeah.
I've got a wee note here saying no one likes giving Ikaku their name. It's like the second person now he's gone up against. It's like refused to give them their name at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which just makes me laugh. I feel like that should now become a running joke. Like, see if you meet an Ikaku at a convention and they ask for your name, don't give them it. Because that would just be very funny.
It would be funny. I have a question for you.
Go for it. I love questions.
We learnt some new Kido, which is pretty cool. Specifically Hado 58, in which Kira uses his Zanpakuto to create a whirlwind.
Oh, yeah.
If someone didn't have a Zanpakuto that we know of, for example, Yoruichi, would she be able to have cast Hado 58?
Oh, I'm sure she could have. Like, I don't know, she strikes me as the kind of person that could pull shite out of thin air, so genuinely think she probably could have. But yeah, it is an interesting thought. I feel like anybody other than Yoruichi, maybe not. But I feel like Yoruichi and Urahara and everybody, like, they're just on a different level. Like, I just feel like they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just something I was thinking of. I was like, well, what if you don't have a Zanpakuto? Because we don't know why it's or how it's possible, but we know that it could be possible for someone not to have a Zanpakuto. There are many characters that we've seen who have not had Zanpakutos. So
But then maybe he just did that as an aesthetic thing. You know what I mean? Maybe the Zanpakuto isn't really a necessary part of it. You could just channel it through that. Maybe, you know, we've seen Kido come out of people's hands before and things. Maybe you could still shoot it out of your hand, but it would be a weaker version, or, you know what I mean? Like, maybe he did that to widen the berth.
So we're thinking of, like, maybe the Zanpakuto is like a magic wand, whereas wandless magic could happen.
Yes.
But the wand is there to channel and give it kind of that enhancement.
Yes, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Rito from Zelda, that he's fighting, he went into a building at one point, right? And he just sort of stayed there. And if I was this Rito Birdman guy, I'd have just fucked off and destroyed the pillar at that point. I'd have been like, cool, see you, bye. Thanks for removing yourself from the situation. I'll just go and destroy the pillar now.
You are so right. You are so right.
Like, I've put that down there. I'm like, why didn't he just... Like, I'd have been like, see ya. Thanks for doing half my job for me.
Yep. The reason why he probably didn't do that is that part was part of a filler fight. Bump. Yeah.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that was part of the filler fight, cool. That makes sense, that's fine, because I was going to say that's fucking stupid. This is why the anime shouldn't be allowed to do what they want.
No.
Just stop it.
Oh, just wait till we get to the Hisagi fight. Anyway.
Oh God. Yeah, I was about to say, like, so is it, like, obviously we saw a little bit of the whole, like, breaking off the mask thing in this episode. Is that canon?
Yes, but he only does it once. Like, he does it... It's like they reminded us of that every single time. As if to say, oh, you may have forgotten what happened last episode, so here it is again. Like, the recaps for these episodes were all over the place,
Oh,
especially this middle one.
Honestly, the middle one, I've got a comment about the recap of that one, actually.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I wonder if we've got the same comment, but yeah, I've put there about the like breaking off the mask, and it was like over half for the lieutenant. I did find that interesting, but if you're saying that he only broke it the once, I'm guessing he went straight to lieutenant. In the manga.
No, he did do, like, he sliced, we only saw it once, whereas we saw the whole sequence 3 times over 3 episodes.
Oh, I see what you're saying, because like, I found it really interesting that like he was taking little bits off for the other seats, and then he took off like a huge portion for the lieutenant, and obviously we know that like from a third seat up to a lieutenant is like a jump, but I didn't realise how big of a jump it was. And then when he does it again, I know he does it again later, but like it's just, that was quite a big chunk of mask to come off to go up to lieutenant. And it was nice getting that cool visual of like the actual power representation of the seats. But I'm also like, how does he know that for sure? I know that he's got Aizen, but Aizen doesn't strike me as the kind of guy to go, sit down, Mr. Freaking, what are we calling this guy again?
Mr. Exacta.
Mr. Exacta. Okay. Sit down, Mr. Exacta. Like, let me explain to you the power levels of each of these seated officers. So, like, where did he get that information?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, how does he know what level a lieutenant's gonna fight at? How does he know to rig? Yeah, exactly. Interesting point. Unless it's Geen who sits them all down and goes, story time with Geen. He has his own,
yeah,
instead
maybe
of
does. Maybe
the
Geen does it,
Rancor
actually.
encyclopedia that he has for the audience, he has a Shinigami story time in which he just basically lays bare all the secrets of the Soul Society.
I could actually see that. That's a new headcanon for me, because that could be real.
It's Storytime
like
Sundays with Geen.
I like that, yeah. But yeah, I was just like, how does he... And then it made me think a little bit about the power scaling and the power levels and everything in Bleach, because obviously I'm going to compare it a tiny bit to Dragon Ball Z here. Mm-hmm. In the sense that Dragon Ball Z, it's like energy, right? They talk about energy. It's like the energy of the living organism. And when you see, like when you're watching one of these fighters start to power up, their power level starts to increase, right? So while you can get a vague understanding when they're at their base level as to what their power level may achieve, you can't say for sure exactly how high that's going to go. And then it depends on like emotions and like, the power of friendship and all that kind of stuff too, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, is it the same for like Bleach, where there's like a base level, and yeah, you could tell somebody's powerful by being in their presence, like when they unleash their spiritual pressure, but surely that's consensual, apart from unless Ichigo and it's like a tap that's always flowing. Like, but a captain has way more control over that, and assuming a lieutenant does too, right? Where like, so even if you've met one, you can't say for sure how much power they've got, because they're all slightly different, and all their Zanpakutos have slightly different abilities, and it isn't just about powering up the same way that it is in like Dragon Ball Z and things. And even when you meet them at that base level, like how can you tell how high that power scaling goes? So I'm like, how do you know? How does he know?
Yeah.
It just bugged me.
Yeah, because especially if you look at someone like Ikaku, who is only a third seat, yet he has Bankai.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got Renji, who has Bankai.
Yeah.
But then you've got Nanao, for example, who we've not seen wielding a Zanpakuto or fight. She's just used Kido. So, yeah, all lieutenants aren't going to be the same. How they become lieutenants is a story, that people have headcanoned about for years. Is there a test? Is it just a case of somebody asks them, like, what do they have to go through? Mm-hmm. So, how does Findor, Mr. Exacta, know what level? Unless he knows they've got that pesquita thing. Mm-hmm. That sounds like the Spanish word for fish. But I'm sure it's something similar to pesquita.
Yeah.
In which they sense people's Viatsu, I think. So maybe that's what he's doing, and he's augmenting his own power to match that of Hisagi's.
Maybe when he's talking about it, he's talking about it from Hisagi's point of view, not just generic lieutenant. It's interesting, yeah. It's just an interesting point.
That was very good. Before we get too further into that episode, though, shall I do manga, anime differences?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
Okay, So for episode 2, had you finished with 218 first?
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Those were all my notes. That was the last note I had for it.
So episode 219, we've got 2 chapters again. Manga chapter 324 in the Weekly Shonen Jump. This chapter was called The Claws, but when it got remade and bound into the volumes, it got changed to the Reaper. So before it focused on Findor's claws, and now it is on Hisagi Shikai. And then the second chapter is 325, Fear for the Fight. So we've got manga anime differences of the whole entire fight.
Really?
Hisagi gets beaten up and sliced at a lot more. It's really painting Hisagi out to be a bad fighter. And it's actually Findor who forces Hisagi to go Shikai. Whereas in the manga, they're pretty much on even footing. There's no slice and dice and everything, and he goes Shikai of his own free will.
Wow.
And then at the end, this is when manga Findor tries to run away. He admits defeat and tries to run away, but Hisagi gets him from behind. Whereas in the anime, you've got Findor trying to get that one last Sarah off and fighting back. Before.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Hisagi is getting kind of more screen time. He's getting more of a journey of he's losing to there's no end in sight, despair, I'm going to have to release something that I really don't like. Whereas in the manga, he makes that decision of his own free will type thing.
I like the manga better because I feel like that's just every anime fight ever, right? Is like, oh no, good guy, looks like they're winning. Oh no, they're starting to lose. Oh no, they're winning again. Oh no, they're losing. Oh, they're winning.
Yeah.
You know, that's every anime fight that exists. So like to have like a fight where it's like they're on equal footing and then Shuuhei just like destroys them effectively, is kind of refreshing.
It definitely is. And I mean the whole bomb thing with his chains on his arms and everything, that's all manga. That was in the manga, and he does use those to his advantage. But it just kind of builds, and yeah, the manga's fight is pretty epic, whereas anime fight was just an anime fight. Yeah,
every other anime fight. What did you have for the episode, like the start of the recap? What was your note for that then? I'm curious.
The recap went on for ages as they actually added in dialogue and clips instead of narrator. So they basically just kind of took at least 10 minutes of the previous episodes and put them back into this episode when we'd already seen it.
Yeah, I've taken that. I've taken a note of this. The recap of this episode was 6 minutes and 15 seconds of a 24-minute episode, which is 25.63% of the episode. 25.63% of this episode was stuff we've already seen.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Because the recap looked to have ended because the music stopped, the narrator stopped talking, but the actual scene they started playing was a scene that we'd seen 2 episodes ago.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it was a really poor choice. And I think that's because, I mean, these ones, they are only using 2 episodes. They've already had to pad the fight a little bit more. So yeah, they really didn't have the creativity to... And I think, especially for these last 4 episodes, they wanted to keep it 1 lieutenant per episode. So last episode was the Kira fight. The one before that was the Yumichika fight. This one is the Hisagi fight. Next one is the Komamura fight, because Kaku doesn't deserve a fight.
Pretty Kaku. Oh gosh, right. But yeah, that was like one of my... so this had a stupidly long... There was no need for that recap.
No, there wasn't.
I've also put this guy Shuuhei is fighting is making me hungry for a lobster. That was one of the other notes I've taken.
Oh, I love the fact that both Toshiro and Soifon, they just look so happy for Asagi. It's like they're so supportive of him, and I think Toshiro even goes, finally, when he gets his Shikai, and it's like a case of they've been waiting for this the whole entire time. It's like,
That's
oh, finally, good for him.
Very interesting, considering, in the first season we're taught that hardly any of the captains and lieutenants know each other, but sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, true. That's very true. And I mean, it is anime only. You don't see that in the manga.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a cute little moment of Toshiro and Soifon, like, supporting, like, realizing that he went Shikai and supporting him.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, you bring up the good point of nobody knows each other, so how can they be supportive of someone they don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're right. Like, see if it had been, like, canon and from the beginning, like, who was whose and they all knew each other. Kind of like what we saw in the past arc, the Turn Back the Pendulum arc. Mm-hmm. Then it'd be like, cool, that would be great, and I would buy into it and stuff. But I was just like, how the fuck do they know?
Yeah.
Did the whole scene of him hitting the mask off pretty much and it going down and it was like, it's like, no, I'm as strong as a captain and 90% of my mask is gone. Was that all proper canon? Yeah, because Shuuhei gives us the confirmation, but he's like, you weren't even close, about being close to the level of a captain. So clearly this idiot is saying, like, no, I'm the level of a lieutenant, now I'm the level of a captain, and clearly has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there we go. Yeah, okay, so we see him cut it in half, and it's like assistant captain. But then we go to the Kira fight. So hang on a sec, I need to skip forward 2 chapters. Okay, and then the next time we see him, he's got less of a mask. So he doesn't cut it off himself. He just now looks like he's missing. Now it's only just covering an eye. Then he goes resurrection. There we go. It's over. With 90% of my mass removed, my powers are now equal to that of a captain. You have no chance against me now. So yes. Yeah, he does do it in the manga. Sorry, that took ages.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then Hisagi's like, you weren't even close, mate. So he clearly can't sense spiritual levels, and clearly Gin didn't hold a class.
No. It's not explicitly mentioned at this point, but with the amount of fighting going on, the amount of times people have gone Shikai, it's probably safe to assume that nobody has power limiters on.
No, I don't think so. But then it's because they're not really in the real Karakura town, are they? They're not really in the world of the living. They're battling like in a...
No, they are in the world of the living.
They're battling somewhere.
But it's just Karakura town that's been moved to the Soul Society, and a kind of model Karakura town place in itself, but they're still in the world of the living, I think.
Okay. I thought that because maybe, okay, well, but I'm pretty sure Yamamoto had some sort of say in that, so.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like Yamamoto would never go to the world of the living with a power scale they're on. Like, that just doesn't feel like that's something that he would ever do. You know what I mean? Like, you're limiting my power.
I feel like there's not, like, a limiter that can probably contain how much power he has. That's
very true.
He's got to have some power, because he's the captain commander of the Gotei 13.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's at the moment the head honcho.
Kind of sad we didn't have any, like, a proud Tosin moment. You know, we had that whole Gin moment last episode. Or 2 episodes ago with Kira. We didn't have like that. We had a flashback of Tosin and how much Tosin meant to Hisagi with the whole not afraid of your own strength or your enemy. Those who don't fear their blades they wield don't deserve to wield them. We had that kind of flashback, but we had no go to Tosin who is watching the fight. I don't know, sensing the fight and feeling proud.
Watching the fight, really?
I don't know. Like, as I was talking, I was like, maybe we didn't have this notion. We didn't have this cut to him because poor Tosin doesn't actually know what's going on. He would have sensed it.
Yeah, I'm sure he can sense what's going on.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure he can. I'd like to think so, anyway.
Can we talk about Hisagi's arm chains?
Yes, please, let's.
They were bombs?
Yeah, That's bizarre. I wonder if Ichigo has thought about installing them.
Like, I thought they were tattoos, and I'd forgotten they were a bomb until it happened. They don't, like, yeah, because they don't look very comfortable. They're just happily sitting there. Anime logic probably keeps them up and around, or else they're cutting off his blood circulation.
Is this the same anime logic that determines what happens to anime boobs?
Yes.
Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Those physics are whack, man.
They are.
So.
But Kira asks a really cute question at the end of a chapter in like the little omakis. Mm-hmm. And it's a picture of Hisagi's head, and you see the one that's around his neck, and you see poor Kira looking worried in the background, wondering if the one around his neck is a bomb too.
Do you think he sleeps with them?
Adorable.
Do you think that's like? Does he sleep with them, or is that like a? Is that
right? Like yeah.
Can he bathe with them on? Is that a?
Are they waterproof?
I don't know.
Like
imagine that he gets caught in the rain and they can't go off.
Do they have different functions? Like, if he's going to a wedding, do they explode confetti? Like...
That's very good. That's very good.
Were they custom by the 12th, and how do I get some? No, I'm joking. But yeah, that was a very interesting reveal that the chains around his arms and neck aren't tattoos, but are bombs. But that's all I had. Other than Yumichika's face and scream when Ikkaku falls.
Yeah,
that
was heartbreaking, wasn't it?
It really was. You can definitely see how much Yumichika cares for Ikkaku.
Yeah, bros before hoes, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Bros before revealing each other's actual power.
Yeah, what's up with that? I find it very interesting though that like, because Yumichika said, and I don't know if this is anime only or if it was in the manga, but Yumichika said that Ikkaku didn't know about his Zanpakuto, like his Zanpakuto's true ability, right? Mm-hmm. And yet Yumichika knows about Ikkaku's Bankai. But, like, Ikkaku has trusted Yumichika enough to disclose that information and knows that his secret is safe with his friend. But Yumichika hasn't done that with Ikkaku.
I think it's different, because... Ikkaku doesn't want people to know about his Bankai because he doesn't want to be captain. He's quite happy at working under Kenpachi, and that's what he wants to do. That's his dream. He doesn't want to become... If people find out about his Bankai, they're going to make him captain, and he doesn't want that responsibility. Whereas Yumichika doesn't want people to know about his... Shikai, because it doesn't encompass the values of the 11th Division.
I don't think Ikkaku would care though. I just find it very interesting that like
Ikkaku probably wouldn't care.
Trusting Yumichika so much and yet doesn't really know that much about his friend. It's very interesting.
It is very interesting.
I would hazard guess that he probably does though. Like, I have a feeling that like Yumichika can't hide that power from his BFF, you know?
Oh,
so I reckon he probably does know, but he's just like, okay, well, until you decide to tell me, I won't make reference of it. You know what I mean? Like, I won't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he'll just act all surprised and go, oh my gosh, your Zanpakuto does that? That's so cool! I knew all along. Yeah, you know that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly how that would go. I've got a little note here, right? This is how mature I am. You ready for this, right? Shuuhei, like, saying that anyone who doesn't fear his sword is no man at all, and I'm like, I just thought it was very funny.
As soon as you said it, like, if anyone doesn't feel his sword, I knew exactly which direction you were going.
Yeah. Like, wow. Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's all I've got for that episode. I don't really have anything else of interest.
Yeah, no, that's all I've got too. Yeah. Moving on to episode 220.
Yeah, let's go for it.
We've got 3 manga chapters.
Oh, wow. So this must be pretty loyal, surely.
2 3/4.
Okay. That's close enough.
Yeah. We've got 326 Knockdown Monster, 327 Knockdown Monsters, plural, And 3 to 8, 3/4 of the Knuckle debate. So the chapter title is called The Knuckle Debate, not 3/4 of the Knuckle Debate.
Okay. Didn't realise Knuckles was in this universe, but sure.
I mean, Sonic is.
Wait a minute, who's Sonic?
Shinji, because Shinji's English voice actor also voice actors Sonic.
Oh my god, right, there you go. There you go.
So yeah, anime differences. We've got anime Ikaku fights back, whereas manga Ikaku just gets stepped on. Anime Ikaku also kind of has this glint in his eye, and he's like, ooh, now there's a real fight. When Whale Dude Pow releases his resurrection, Ikaku's like, ooh, now this is a real fight, before Iba drags him away, whereas Iba just drags Ikaku away. There's more fighting talk from Ikaku. How anime had this extra scene of the whale boy punch, that kind of hits the ground and sends them scrambling before they get up and scamper away again. Mm-hmm. That's anime only. When Pow punches, Komamura turns up, and it's much more dramatic in the manga. Because all you see is this cloud of dust, and then Komamura is there. Whereas in the anime, he's standing there and then blocks it. Yeah. So the reveal and the savior from Komamura is a lot more dramatic in the manga.
Yeah, kind of like that idea better.
Yeah. In the anime, we've got Pow fires off 2 Seros at point blank range. So when Komamura's Bankai and him are like hand to hand, he then fires off the Seros. Mm-hmm. Whereas in the manga, it's a case of he sees this big hulking figure, and he stops his Sero mid, and kind of like his Sero fizzles out, and he's just like, oh my gosh, this dude's tall. Who is this dude? And then, a little note to say that the anime demoted Iba because he didn't have his badge on.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's a good spot.
But yeah, that's all the kind of manga anime differences.
Yeah. I have a question for you now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Do you think it was right for Izuru and Shuuhei to stop Yumichika going to Ikaku?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because Hisagi has a point. Ikaku is, he's got this moniker of being strong, one of the strongest. He is a 3rd seat. Yumichika is only a 5th seat. They don't know about Yumichika's hidden powers. What could Yumichika have done differently other than sit there and hold Ikaku's hand? And they could probably sense that maybe Ikaku's not dead, that someone, like, this is Ikaku's fight. And there's also a sense of pride as well. We come back to the Ukitake saying of there were 2 different types of fight. So at this point, allowing Yumichika to go be there is taking away Ikaku's manhood.
No, it's not. No, Ikaku did that to himself by not using his Bankai. I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah. But, I think from what they know, Hisagi and Kira had a right to stop Yumichika, to kind of protect Yumichika.
I just don't feel like you should stop boyfriends from running to each other when one of them is hurt.
Because I've written the same thing here. Could Yumichika have done anything? What could a Yumichika have done differently?
Eating them, clearly. Turned them into a flower and then eating them.
But would Yumichika have done that?
To save Ikaku? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if there was any time that he was ever going to reveal that power of his, it would probably be to save Ikaku's life.
Aww. Yeah. Could Kira and Hisagi, who are both lieutenants and therefore theoretically stronger than Ikaku himself, have done anything differently?
I think all of them probably, instead of like stopping Yumichika and being like, oh no, the pillar's been destroyed, oh gosh, whatever shall we do? All 3 of them should have fucking got their asses there and picked up the slack. But then I suppose maybe they were given specific instructions not to abandon their own pillars, but they already did that to go to Yumichika anyway, so you can't even argue that point.
True. Yeah, because while they're all squabbling, 3 more facciones have just snuck in and sliced and diced. Speaking of the pillars falling, where did that bag come from that Iba had?
He obviously hid it somewhere in the fake town. Probably some poor person's bedroom.
I want that. I want a fanfic of some poor random human waking up to find that their house has been destroyed in that little section of the where the pillar kind of failed and the real town got destroyed. I want a fanfic of someone going, "What happened to my house?"
I don't think they would wake up if their house had been destroyed.
True. I mean, what if they weren't in the house? What if they were just in the car? I feel like the whole Karakura shift was similar to a snap from Endgame, like a Thanos snap, and they all just got blipped out of existence and placed into the Soul Society.
People were just gone, weren't they? I guess so, to maybe stop people from coming out their houses and seeing what's going on. Maybe there was an extra layer of Kiro there that's made them all like go inside and fall asleep or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Potentially, like that seems like something that I think Urahara could conjure up.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure.
I've got there, Whale Guy is definitely the strongest Fractione we've seen so far.
Oh, for sure. Like, he defeated Ikaku before Pao went Resurrection.
Yeah.
He didn't go Resurrection until Komamura turned up, so...
Yeah. And I know that Komamura made kind of quick work of him, but, like, he still put up a semi-fight, I guess, against Captain. You know what I mean? Like, he still held his ground for a short period of time. So I feel like, especially considering he's not technically even a Rancor, that is definitely the highest level of Fractione that we've seen.
Yeah,
like the fact that he can even stand in the Captain's presence and not be overwhelmed by spiritual pressure alone is pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah. Did your DVD have a random recap before the opening credits?
Probably. I didn't take a note of it though if it did.
Oh. Because when we started watching...
Oh wait, is this the one where it was like Ichigo and Rukia are like Soul Reapers?
Yeah, it's like Ichigo is this 15-year-old... Yeah, I was like, what the heck? As if we need to know who Ichigo and Rukia are. They aren't even in these episodes.
I know, I think that was the point though, wasn't it? It was kind of like to go, hey, by the way, we're the main characters, you just haven't seen us for a while. It was so random. Yeah, no, I didn't take note of it, but I was like sitting there going, what the fuck? And then fast forwarded it.
Yeah, because they had that, and then they had the opening credits, and then they had the other recap.
What were we like? I did like Toshiro's comment about like they were going to be in the red for the, or no, it was Matsumoto's comment about like being in the red for the fiscal year, and then Toshiro's like, yeah, Komamura will like pay for that himself, and then Rangiku's like, oh my god, yes, this is great, and he's like, you however will absolutely not be doing that, because it's just like the difference in the captains and the difference in their lieutenants, and I just love their relationship so much.
Yeah, so good. That whole kind of relief from what was happening to remind us that they're still there watching it, and you had Ameda going, what the heck's going on? And yeah, no, that was, and I loved it because it was in the manga as well, so it wasn't anime only, it was actually canon, which is great.
Good. See, the reason why I love it is that even though it was comedic humour that was put in, it gives us something. Like, it doesn't feel like unnecessary comedic humour. Like, this is a comedic humour that is intelligent, like actual intelligent, real intelligence, and also tells us a little bit more about how Toshiro and Rangiku are versus Komamura and his lieutenant, but also it tells us like a little bit about how the finances kind of work in this system. Yeah. So I love it for all those reasons. It was a very good joke.
Yeah, we got some like kind of hidden message of how the inner workings of the Shuuhei, and that was good. Yeah. I have written here in my notes Avada Kedavra. And I know for a fact have you seen that thing on TikTok where you get like a tiny little thing and you're like, Avada Kedavra?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's that tiny little stick, and I was like, Avada Kedavra! But I can't remember what it's in reference to, so... All it says is just Avada Kedavra. And I'm like,
was it maybe to do with the fact that the Zero was like green? No? I don't know. No. So,
no, you know what it was?
What?
It was Pau's Zanpakuto.
Oh.
It's so tiny. And he's just so big, and he takes it out of his sword, and I'm like, because it's so tiny.
Oh my gosh. We should have known that his whale size was compensating for something.
Oh, that was a horrible laugh, but okay. Yeah.
I like the little comment of like Komamura saying like I'm hard of hearing.
Yes,
like,
that was
his
so
eyeball and was like,
cute.
why didn't you use Bankai?
And he's like, oh, I don't have Bankai. And it's like, everybody knows you have Bankai, dude.
Everybody knows.
And Komamura is just like, oh, I'm hard of hearing today. I can't hear anything. Yeah, because he's turning a blind eye to the fact that Iba's yelling at him. No, and that's again another bit of dynamic of how those two work, like Komamura and his lieutenant Iba, and the relationship that they have. I expect they're really quite close, and they've got quite a good bond of being
Camaraderie.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the exact word I'm looking for. Yeah, camaraderie between the two of them, and they work really well together.
I mean, like, I know that, like, obviously everybody has their own favourite divisions and stuff like that, but see, seeing Komamura in action and hearing this little bit about him, like, paying out of his own pocket for any damages, and, like, him saying, oh, like, I'm hard of hearing, and these little moments like this, I'm like, I would happily be in his division. You know what I mean? Like, he's maybe not got, like, the coolest division or the coolest this or that, but, like, I would happily serve under him. I feel like he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Any other major points?
No, that was me.
Alrighty. Do you want to play who's on the volume cover?
I would love to play who's on a volume cover. So last time it was Yumichika, right?
It was, yes.
Okay.
So this is the start of volume 38.
Okay.
And the poem is, there is only one thing to fear, to become a warrior without fear.
Is it Shuuhei?
It is! Yeah, it's Shuuhei. Because, of course, we got his Shikai reveal, and it was glorious.
Yes. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all I got too then. Right, okay, we didn't have anything for delving into the Dangai, did we?
No.
Okay then, that's fine then. We'll just move straight on into the Shinigami Cup Peroxide edition. So, who wore it best this week then, Nomi?
Mine is, even though it's anime only, but it is the captain's feeling proud of his Sagi releasing his Zanpakuto, and the potential that, you know, could be had this have been consistent. But yeah, it was, especially Toshiro's look of, finally.
Aww, that's a cute one.
Yeah.
I like that. For mine, I've put Izuru, how Izuru wore his victory. He literally just went straight for the head. Like, there was no messing around, there was no fidgeting, there was no giving the enemy a chance to recover. It was just straight for the head and off. Like, it was great. I mean, obviously they spoke a little bit long, but he went for it. Like, he went for the headshot. Not many people in the good scenarios tend to go for the headshot, but he did. He took it clean off.
There was a lot of, there wasn't much pomp and circumstance with these fights when it got to the crux of the matter and they were defeating them. It was a case of hitting them from behind or taking his head off. Yeah, no, that was good. That's a good one.
Yeah. Because you always get that and then they're like, oh, you should have gone for the head. You know what I mean? But Izuru actually did.
Exactly.
Alright, what about your ship? Who was the best ship?
Squad 11 and the fact they don't like to reveal what they're capable of.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Oh, I like that. That's very clever. I've put Whale Guy in Komamura's Bankai because size matters. It's bad. Alright then, what about your fandom shout out?
Okay, my fandom shout out is a cosplay.
Oh, watch us have the exact same one.
Oh no. So
this would be very interesting if we do.
This is a cosplay by Numasan0704 on Twitter.
Okay.
And it is Aizen.
Oh wow. That's very good.
Even got the hair and yes.
The eyebrows are on point.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the eyebrows, just the whole look of this Aizen is perfect and it's so good.
That is so cool. That is really cool. Right, okay, mine is by Shinigami Texan on DeviantArt. I'll leave the spelling for it in the description and stuff, and I linked it because it's Texan TXAN, the other way round. And they are cosplaying Shuuhei with his Shuuhei.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love the Shuuhei.
It's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've done a great job on it. So, yes. All the links to these two amazing cosplayers will be in our show notes. So please go and give them a wee follow. Give their pictures a little like, a little bit of love. But yeah, very cool. Any last things before we wrap up?
No, I think we're good. We're getting into... Interesting to know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I think we're going to be getting to the fun parts real soon. I did really love that little insight into Komamura. I really did appreciate that.
Yes, yeah. I'm excited to see more of captains and lieutenants that maybe we haven't focused on.
Agreed.
Because we all love Toshiro and Mangiku, but we've seen them fight a few times.
So we've not really seen much from Toshiro's Bankai, but sure.
No. It'll be nice to see what Soifon's capable of, what Omeda's capable of, what maybe even Iba, because we've not seen Iba much either, if he gets a fight. Or if he is just the pole guy.
There is going to be a lot here that we're excited for, so.
Yeah.
Cool, alright then. Well, you wonderful souls, that is the end of another episode. If you like what you heard and you want to get involved, you can find us by searching for The Serite on Instagram and T Serite on Twitter. Now, Ichigo and Rukia might reap souls, but we are hoping to reap some 5-star reviews, and that is where you come in. Make like our favourite orange-haired protector and Ichigo to iTunes and Spotify to rate us, review us, and make us feel like number one. To those of you listening on YouTube, don't forget to be like Chad and give us that good thumbs up. We really appreciate it. On the next episode of the podcast, we're going to be covering anime episodes 221, The Full Showdown, Shinigami vs. Espada, 222, The Most Evil Tag, Soifon and Omeda, and 223, A Miraculous Body, Gigo releases. We'll see you souls then. Till next time, bye!
Bye!
I think it was meant to be Geo, isn't it? Rather than Gigo.
That makes more sense. I was like, who? What? What is this episode? Geo? Yeah. No, now I know. Yeah.
No. I'll re-record that bit and slow it in.
Leave it in, because this is hilarious.
No.
I'm sitting here just nodding, going, yeah, these are the episodes.